Hello and welcome to another video on Airtable. We will be starting introduction of Airtable for beginners. So we'll be looking at some of the interface and uses of Airtable. Now, Airtable is a tool that is being used for workflow automation. Many individuals set up Airtable in order to be able to get their data and to trigger some action that will be automatically activated instead of regularly having to um, do it over and over again. Now let's have a look at the Airtable interface. Now here's the Airtable interface, and this environment is where we have as our home environment where everything that we need about Airtable can be included. Let's look at the home. You have here where we have the different bases that are available within our workspace. All right. Now this is actually the free version, and when you use it and you're conversant with it, we can upgrade to the paid version. This is a workspace which I called Emmanuel. All right, this is a workspace called Emmanuel, and the only way to create that workspace is to click on the plus sign. It's going to open up a workspace. Okay, let me delete this workspace so that you can have a look at it. So here, click on this workspace. If you want to delete a workspace, click on here and choose delete workspace, and the workspace will be out. Now, let's say I need a new workspace. I can either click on this plus or just click on create workspace. And I'm going to name this workspace Emmanuel. Right, so that's my workspace. Within this workspace, I'm going to create some bases in it. I can create a base in it. And you create a base by clicking on create. Workspace is empty. Apps in workspace will appear here. So we need a base here. We click on create. And then you can say, how do you want to start? Build an app with Omni, which is using the AI, or build an app on your own. I want to go manual, so I'll just click on my own. And then I have that. So it gives me a base. Now, this is the base. If I want to change the name of this base, I click on untitled base and then fill up all the information I want. Now you can see this base has different tables. Now one of them here is table 1. Now this is the interface if you want to deal with the artificial intelligence. And we are not going to do with anything with artificial intelligence, so I'm going to just click here and then it will close that out. If I need it again, just click on open Omni and you bring it out, and we can use it anytime we want. Now, Airtable has a table, and the table is made up of columns. The vertical ones are columns, and it's called field in Airtable. And then they also have rows. So they are made of columns and rows. Rows are called records, while the columns are called fields. That's what we have in Airtable. And each time you want to create a table, all you need to do is just click on plus sign, click on plus, start from scratch. If I want a new table with the Omni, it's going to give me a table, ask me what I want, and it will fill it up here. I can also add from other sources, like maybe copy from a CSV file, Google Sheet, Google Calendar, and Excel, and any other more than 26 tools in here. Then I can always edit what I want with that table. I can find the table. I can also change the name of the table by clicking here. For example, if I want to rename this table, I click on this place and I can call this table. Let's say I want to call it clients. That's the name of the table. We have that. That's the table hasn't changed. If I want my base name to also change, I could decide to call it, let me say, I'm having a list of my clients in my company, and my company could be called Golden Coffee. Just say Golden Coffee. And that's it. Enter. There I have it. So I have my table there. Now over here, I can click here, and then here we have what we call base guide. Now base guide are information I want to put in for people that will be working with me for my team. So if I need to put any information here, just click on this, I'm gonna select it, then I can type whatever I need to type in here for my teammates to read. And then whenever I bring them in, they go to base guide and they can read and know what that table is all about. All the latest development I have done on that table can be there also. All right, so it's very straightforward. We have different types of fields in Airtable. We're going to click here. You want to see the different types of field that we have. Now, this is a single line field. That's why you see A here. In the notes, we have what we call a long text field. We have your long text. In assignee, we have what we call a users field. In status, we have what we call a single select field, attachment field, and a lot of other fields that are in here. Now, if you want to select a field, all you have to do is to click on the drop down arrow and it will tell you to edit. When you click on edit, it will show you so many fields. So if I click on this field, I'm going to have long text, data, URL, currency, percent, duration, formula, whatever. There are so many fields that you can just type on. If you need more that are not here, then you can type the name and it's going to give you more fields. Like if I come down here, I need to change the field. I'll just type the field here, maybe formula, and formula will come out. All right. Whereas if you just check here, you may not see some fields. You use whatever you want. Let me look for another field. Attachment. Attachment. Yeah. This is yeah. All right. That is for our text field. Okay. So we're going to look at a real scenario where we have to use this field for we're going to use these fields for these are able to enter data. So here's the situation. We have information from a company. Let's say we have our company here, a golden coffee shop pass. This is our client grid, a client table. So in our client table, we have different names. They have their pictures, first, last, email, and birthday. This is for our clients. And we could also have another table which talks about the meetings which we are going to have with our clients in our company. Let's say we have clients that we need to meet. We have locations that we're going to meet them. We're going to have our meeting locations and the time of meetings here. And then if our client have dogs, whatever we need dogs for, we'll have their information here also. Now this is an example. So let's go ahead and see how we can populate. I can build the client in our table. So here is our client table. We can see it has name, picture, first, last, email, and birthday. And then each of them have data types. Yes, something that we need to know about Airtable. Airtable is actually a bridge between databases and spreadsheet. Just like having Excel in collaboration with Access, Microsoft Access, or Excel in collaboration with any MySQL, any of the databases which you use. It actually displays data as a spreadsheet. At the same time, it stores the data and can create a relationship between data. So we're going to look at that and see how we're going to fill this information on this table. Let's look at our grid view. All right, so we are going to have these three: name, picture, first, last, email, and birthday. We're going to see how we're going to have the different data types. So first and foremost, this is grid view. I decided to rename this grid view, and then once I rename it, it's going to be renamed to main view. That's what I want to just have it as the main view, because I may have some other types of views later. Now the view is how we are going to be looking at how we can, filter Airtable so it looks at some things and doesn't look at some things. I can decide to delete this. So one of the ways is by selecting one, click on it, go down to delete, and that's deleted. If I want to do more, select it, then I could just click on it Using the control key, click on the different ones that I need, and all the tables I need at the same time, and then can get them out if I need all of them out. So I delete all selected fields, but I click on it and they all go. All right. Right now I want to delete this field. So I've done that. Delete this field. Attachments, delete everything. All right. So we are now through. We have deleted all the fields. So we first of all we have name here. So we are going to feed it information with the name. Then based on the information that we had remember this was our table. We're going to have name. So after name, I'm going to click on here and then add another table. And this table will be no, not here, sorry. We need to add a table. The next table we are going to add is going to be called click on plus from scratch, meetings, save. And the next one we're going to add is dogs from scratch, dogs. Then we save. Right? We have our three tables right now. We go to clients. Clients, we want to have a table name. We have done that, and another one. And this one is going to be for pictures, so it's an attachment file. So we call it attachment. Field type is attachment. Going to be used for. Then we want to call it pictures. It's going to be the picture of our client. So we have pictures. Then add images, documents, or other files to be viewed or downloaded from files. We create that. We'll add another field. The next field is going to be first name. And then we are going to use a single line text. Single line text is if we want to put text or preview each new cell with a default value. So it's just going to be used to enter text. Text that is not so long. Things like names are there. So we have first name going to be there. Single line text, create. The next one we have is another single line text. So we're going to put the last name. So we're going to put the last name. And click on end. You can just tap on enter and get it done. The next is the email. So for email, we're also going to use email is a type. So we call it email. So we use a field type called email to store emails. Now we have that. Then we're going to put the birthday. Now birthday is going to be using date. Date is a data type that is used to store days. Then we have birthday. We create. Now you have options of do you want local time, do you want to include time, do you want to display time zone. All right, if you include time, it's going to add the hours into the time. Like you could now have a time with hours, but if we don't want that, we'll just give ourselves just the date itself. Because the birth date, we don't need hour or date, just need the current. Create the date, then that's all. So birth date. So now we are through with that. Let's look at the next meetings. We have all right, meetings. We also have name. I'm going to also delete all these ones also. I'm going to delete them. Delete fields. Delete three field. I also delete this field. Let me delete the note also because I don't need, okay, I may need notes. So let me just leave it. Now we have date. On meetings, we have name. So we have the names here, name here. We have date, because it's going to be the date of the meeting. So we still use the date. You create date. I'm going to bring date here. Just hold and drag and it will follow you, or just click. Now turn to the hand, move it to the side you want, and drop it. So we have date, we have notes. Okay, we had another table called locations, and location is single select. So we're going to have single select. Now, single select gives us an opportunity to have what we call a drop down box, and drop down box is, so we have here a location and single select the type. And the location we are going to look at, three locations. One is coffee shop. So you click on this add option. You have a coffee shop. Office. Let's go ahead and populate the doc table. So the doc table is made up of two columns, two fields. One is name, the next one is type. So we're going to have name, click on the plus sign, and then type. Now, type is single select because it's going to be types of doc. So we'll use single select. We'll call it type as the top doc type. And we're going to put in the different options as sheepdog. Then we have bug at the next one. And then the last one is the spaniel. Now we have that. We can use the default to be sheepdog if we need it, but I don't need any default, so I'll just leave it blank and leave it empty. All right, so now that we have done that, I don't want it to be, okay, so create field. Now we have that. Now we have gotten that, we have gotten clients. Now we want to fill it up with clients. Now clients table, this is what we had. We had Danny Rogers and about 9 different clients over here with their emails. And we are going to populate it with information that has to do with their emails and their date of birth. So I'm just going to do an example because this is a combination of first and last name. So we're going to have an example that will give us all the links that is necessary for this. So first and foremost, we go with the name. But to get the name, since it's a formula, we are going to first and foremost go to this and put a name. Let me say, let's put Danny. Go to the last name, Rogers. Now we have the date of birth, the email. Let's use Danny Rogers at Gmail. Now let's go to birthday. We'll just click on it, double click. It's going to give us something. So we could have month is 12. We could have the day. Day is 14th. And then we could have the year 2000. All right. So we have that. That is the year. All right. So this is our year, which has shown on our calendar here, December 14th. And these are all the information we need. Now, this was a formula. Now, how do we get this formula? You click down here, you did the field. It's a name field. We turn it to formula field. And okay, let me delete what was done here so that you can go ahead and get the field to be another field type. I'm going to make a single line, see? All right. Now, let me delete this. So we want it to automatically pick Danny Rogers as a name. So what we just do is we change this, we did the field, change this to a formula, search for it, formula comes out. You click on formula and we want it to be first. So we type first. First is going to show as the variable. So we have it here. And then we have and we put our ampersand sign, ampersand sign, put the open and close brackets, put the ampersand signs again, and then type last. Now last is going to be this other field. We have the first and the last field, and we now see automatically that will now give us the formula where it says first and last field, and then in the middle we have space. Here we are, and we are going to continue with our table. We can decide to populate this table, continually populate the table, and one of the ways of populating the table is by directly going here. We have Nathan Shirley. We can come here, put in, just add Nathan Shirley. Then we have his email, Nathan Shirley at email. .com. And his birthday could be let me say 10/4/1980. Then we can go with that 10/4/1980. Now, but you can see that it's taking us such time. We could even make mistakes like I have here. Surely it's giving me a mistake. So instead of wasting time, if we already have the CSV file or the Excel file, all we need to do is to import it here. So I'm going to delete all these clients that I've already created, delete the clients. Then I'm going to import. Instead of manually typing all the names in here, we can just go ahead and import. So that would be faster for us. So we just go in here, clients, click on it, import data, go to CSV file, check on your local drive. I already have a file here, clients, grid, and then upload. And wait for a few seconds and it should upload. And then asking us that we should map our files. They're all well mapped. But I notice that here in the first row, we have the first, last, and email header. And I don't want that. So to remove that, I go to other settings. I click on exclude first row in import. And you notice that automatically it has removed that header. Then I can now say create missing select. If I had a select field, I just tell it to create the missing ones. Else, it's not relevant for me to use it here since there's no select field. And I now import. So I've successfully imported 10 new records into the clients table. So we have here Rogers, Kelly, Nathan, Flo, Trent, Jamie, Sam, and all that. So everybody is here. All right. Now, same thing can be done with meetings. You can go ahead, meetings, we can decide to type with a hand, but I wouldn't really support that. So we go to our table, call meetings. All right. Now, but before I go on, let me check something on our table. Remember, we had our tables and they're all different data types. Let's go to clients. Our client was supposed to be a formula. Yes, it is. First name is text. This is an email field. Yes, email. And this is a date field. So we are all good to go. All right. So we have also made this. We have this a date field, a location, and a note. So already we are now good to go. So we are going to import our name, date, and location and notes. So we are just going to import it over here. Now remember that this is also a formula. It's having a formula between coffee and date. So we are going to ensure that as we're importing it, it may not import that one. So we'll just fill it up necessary data as it arrives. Just type it in hand. It'll take us time. So I'm going to import the data. Right, browse it. We have our meetings. And upload. So we have All right, so we have, this is already, we didn't change it to formula view field, so it's going to come in, but we'll edit it later as we go on. And that's that. So I don't want the first row, so I remove it, then I create import. Now I've imported that, so I'm going to remove, these are fields that I don't need. They're all empty fields, so delete it. What I want now is I just don't want this. Okay, I just don't want this, so this is all I want. I just delete them, click on them individually and select them. I want it to be in as a formula field, so I'm going to click on it, edit the name, change it to formula, select here for formula. We have formula here. I'm going to put a formula here. Now the formula is going to be location, because we are looking for location. We have location here. Then we'll add location ampersand, and then we'll add dash. So we have dash here. And after dash, we are now going to add ampersand again. And we want the date to be attached. Remember, we had a date, so we want the date. So we are choosing one of these formats. We say we want the date time format function. And under that, we'll choose our date time format, which we want as date. This is the field we need. Date field, comma, dash day, dash year. That's how we want it to represent this date time format for us. So save. You can now see it has taken 2023 and has shortened it to be just 23. So that is our date time format. This is how it was here. Now we need. The only difference now is that we have not added any space. So we're going to add our spaces in between the two. So one of the ways of doing it is just go into the formula, and then we can just add the space in between. And add this space, this space, save. So that space automatically is added for everybody. All right. Now we have that. Then we have been able to populate our meetings. Now the next one is we want to populate docs. And we can see our docs carry a different data also. Let's look at the docs. Docs have the different name and the type. Our docs name and type. So we are going to import this also. Name and type. And remember that this type had different options. So we're going to import it. Docs, click import CSV file, and then I'll look up, browse it, docs, open, load. Then these are docs, name. We don't want the header, so we exclude header. So we have our docs there, and we have mapped the missing select options, import. Then here we are. So our docs are good to go. All right, so we just select this, I click delete it. So we have our docs here. There are 9 docs. We had about 9 of them also here, so we have that. So here we are, and you can see it still gave us an option of ship dog and all that. We could have option of selecting any dog that we want. Okay. Now the next move is we've been able to secure clients, docs, and meetings tables. And we have imported them. So you have been able to see the different data types based on what we have done. But let's look at other things that we may now do. And one of the things that we'll do is to see we can have another data type called linked lists. So here we are going to link our different tables together. For example, here we have our client table, and then we want to link it with meetings table. And that's going to create a relationship. Try and do that. So what I'm going to do now, let me reduce it. I can reduce the sizes if they are so big. And I'll reduce size. I've not been able to put attachment. Okay, let me attach a picture here. Click here, You get a local file. Let me browse any local file and see pictures. Okay, I have a picture here and here. Upload. So that's an image. We can also do the same thing for all others. You can now see it has appeared there automatically. All right, this is our local file. I'm going to try and add up other options here. So you see more pictures there. So we are going to look at how we are going to create a relationship between these two tables. So first and foremost, click on add, and we are going to click on link to another record. We're going to select meetings. We'll create the field. So add lookup fields. We won't really need this right now, so we'll just skip it. We don't want to add lookup fields. We already taken the first field, which is a primary field. I can now come here meetings, and I can click add coffee shop. I can do more than one. I allowed multiple entry here, so I can click this and then have the make meeting in the office. Then for Nathan Shirley, we can have the meeting in coffee shop on the 8th on certain dates. So I can have two dates for appointments here on the 11th. And I can also book another appointment on the 14th. So okay, let's see. I hope we don't have, let's look at it widen. You can make it wider so I can see this repetition. Having the 14th and the 16th. So there are two meetings right here. All right. So you can do that. So go ahead and add meetings for everybody. So I'll go ahead and populate this, and then you see how the relationships are. Now, so we can now see that we have a relationship here on the client side between clients and meetings. So on the meeting side, we have relationship. The clients' names are all here. And then on the client side, their meetings are all here. All right. So this is what we call a relation. I can keep on populating. And if I want to look at we have another office meeting on the 22nd with Sam. Let's look at Sam Obisanya. I have a meeting scheduled for 17th of August. Then I have a meeting also that could be in a restaurant on the 13th with someone else. So just go ahead and populate and you look at the meetings. We all have our meetings booked here for everybody. And that's that. So we have that relationship going. Now let's look at how we can also build a relationship with other tables. So we are going to build a relationship now with dogs. Okay. So let's get to clients and see how we can build relationship with the dog table here. So to do that, we also have to create a link to another record here. Click on this, click on link to another record. We're going to select dogs. And after selecting dogs, we will allow it to multiple links. Remember, allow multiple links means we can allow linking to multiple records. Means that we can select many records for between the relationship of those two tables. You can limit the record selection to a view. You can filter record selection by condition, which we don't want. This is if we want a condition, you can filter it, but we don't really want that. You can even use AI to show whatever condition that you want. So we just choose this. And then our field is going to be called docs. Just call it docs. Then we create our link. So that's the name we are looking for. So we lookup fields. The lookup field is going to be docs. So we just skip it. And here we are. Look for a dog. And maybe Danny Rogers' dog is Chewbacca. Kelly's dog is Oz. Then Nathan's dog is Andy. Okay, let's just keep on populating for everybody. Indiana Jones, Indiana Bones. Okay, and you can see that the everything about the dogs show, even their type shows everything about it. And if we did not allow this to, it would have just shown just one thing at once, and that's all. So, all right. So we have these dogs that are connected with these guys. Let's say GK crawling. All right. So we have this. These are the dogs. So now we have a relationship between dogs. So the dogs are showing here, and they belong to these guys, and the dogs also and their owners are here. We have different dogs, type of dog, dog name, type, and then the client that has the dog. These are all the, that's how to create a relationship between different tables. All right. Now, the next thing we are going to do is to create a lookup relationship, okay? Now, for lookup relationship in a table, just click on plus, and then we are going to we are trying to look at the type of dogs, okay? So that once you select the dog name, the type of dog should also appear. So we have this, and and we're going to link it to record also. Link to records, and we are going to link to dogs, and we are linking to the dog type. Okay. Um, call it dog type. So we are linking to the dog type, and dog tables, and then we call it dog type, create field, and we just want it to be linked to type. All right. Want it to be linked to type, so that automatically the type of dogs should show. So we now have that. So So we are trying to create a new relationship between dogs and well, actually, there's already a relationship. We are trying to create a lookup between dogs and clients. Now, we want to see the types of dogs that all these dogs are, not just know their name, but also their breed. So we click on here, and we use the lookup field type. We call it the dog type. That's the name. Lookup, and then the field we choose will be dogs. And then the field we want to look at is type. So our source is the docs, and then the field we are looking at is types from the table. So we create. Now there are also options like only include links, sort records, limit number of items. We don't really need this, so we ignore it and then just create the field. Automatically, you just see that the dog type shows beside the dog. So you have sheepdog, spaniel, and all. So that's how we use the lookup field to actually get something from another table. If we come to these dogs, you see that we have the dogs, the sheepdog, Chewbacca is sheepdog, Paul's Aldrin is spaniel, and then that automatically shows you also for the Aldrin spaniel, Chewbacca, sheepdog, and all that. All right, so let's see how we can look at another field type right now. We are going to look at the roll up field type. The roll up field type is really used to perform some calculations while still looking up at something. Let's say we want to know on these our clients the latest meeting that we had with our client, the latest date we had meeting with our client. Then we can have that by having the roll up field type here. So what I'm going to do is just in the same client table, we add a new field, and it will be a roll up field. That's the field type roll up, and we are going to call it the latest meeting. Latest meeting. And then we will choose our source table to be meetings, and then we are going to choose our field. Okay, we're looking at dates. Okay, then here we can now have the formula here. You can see our formula come out here. And we are looking at the latest date, the last time we had a meeting with that person. So we're looking at dates, but we are going to look at the highest date. So we can use the concept of max. So what we have here is array unique, returns only unique items. We don't want that, so we remove that. So let's look at max now, and then that is all. Create field, and then it's going to look at our latest meeting. You can see that we just had one field here. The one that we had two meetings here between, we had a 14th and a 16th, but the latest was on the 16th. So it saw the 16th and gave us as the latest date that we had that meeting. That's what we roll up helps us to do. The roll up, lookup, we've talked about roll up, lookup on the other field types like single, and we have also looked at select, single select. In multi-select, it means we can select multiple options. So that's just the difference between multi-select and single select. So we're going to stop here on our field type for today. And in the next episode, we'll be looking at how we can use filters on this table. So keep on with us, subscribe to this channel, like it. You can drop your comment on what you want us to do or anything that needs to be explained further. And we also run trainings on how you can use Airtable and some other work automations. The training is going on right now. So you look at the link, you'll see the description over there of where you can click to communicate to get the training. It's going on right now, courtesy of our company. And then you learn it and then go on to automate your work or go on to use it to automate jobs for people. You can use it and become a freelancer, make some money for yourself. All right, bye bye. Till we see next video.